Welcome to a special edition of VGXL. I'm your host Daniel, aka Games, and joining me is nobody. I'm actually alone on this episode, and I want to try something new. I could have pushed it back. I could have found a guest host, but I decided against all that shit today. I figured, you know what? Let's go at this solo and try something a little bit different. And this is really weird. Like, I'm just here talking to myself, and normally I have people who make me feel like I'm talking to someone. If you get what I'm saying. Both Adocat and Jose had things to do this week. Jose got bogged down with work. Adocat is visiting family down south. So that left me with a dilemma. Either I find somebody to join me or just say screw it and record, and that's where I am today. So I hope this episode is not too much of just me. I just wanted to get a feel of how this felt, and we'll go from there. So now you can get the solo VGXL games experience, and I'm not even streaming. I mean, you get this live anyway, but it's still weird to do it solo with nobody watching, not being live, and no chance of anybody talking to me. So with that being said, I'm gonna go over some news, I guess, and we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But before we go over some news, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's actually been listening religiously. We do have, it seems like people actually tune in every single week or catch up when they can, and I really appreciate that. This has become a passion of mine, and it's something that has become a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of thinking. I mean, this podcast is literally on my mind 24 hours a day. Constantly thinking about what I can do next, how we can make it more fun for everybody, how we, what the future holds. And I'm really hoping that this becomes something. And so for all of you here, day one, who've been here on the ground floor, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving me feedback. Thanks for, giving me shit when we get things wrong. I really appreciate all of that. And don't ever be afraid. If I say something stupid, something off, something misguided, whatever it is, feel free. Hit me up. You know where I'm at. If you're probably either in the Discord, you follow me on Twitter or something, or you stop by my stream. I had a listener stop by the stream the other day, and I really appreciated that. And that's awesome. And I hope, so if you guys ever want to come, chat me up. I'm always available Monday and Friday. On Twitch at VGXL Live. So, catch me there. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. Tweet at me publicly. I don't care. I really appreciate all the feedback. It feels really good to know people are listening and people are, have thought and are engaging in the podcast. And that's all I've ever wanted. And ever since I started streaming back in 2013, wow, I don't know where that year came from. I think I was trying to say 2018 and 3 years ago at this. Anyway, it's cut. Ever since I started streaming 3 years ago, all I've ever wanted is to entertain people. Yes, money would be nice. Making it a career would be cool. But the first and foremost is people actually being entertained by the content I'm putting out. And I really hope that's what we've been doing here on this podcast. From week to week, So again, thank you for everybody who's been listening from the beginning. If you're just joining us midway, thank you. If this is your first episode, thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys do. If you ever want to be a guest, if you ever want to give a reply, if there's something we got wrong or something that you want to debate us on, feel free to reach out. My email's on Twitter, or you can just email me at itsgames@vgxl.com and shoot me a message. Let me know that you want to have a chat. Because like I said, I know we get things wrong. I know it's not always 100% correct. And, sometimes we just, we talk, we make assumptions, we're just talking shit, and we don't know every little detail. And sometimes ideas about certain details that we don't know just come up mid-podcast, and, we get things wrong. So, again, thank you for everybody who's ever reached out to correct us and give us shit. I really love that shit. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on to some news. The big news for this week, today's August 18th, we got a Pokemon, and that was really cool. I've been playing Pokemon since the original Game Boy days, because, I'm old, and it's been really awesome to see where the series has gone, even though it hasn't really changed. It's cool that it's actually finally changing. For me, hopefully for the better. I liked what they did with Sword and Shield to an extent. It felt too 3DSy to me, and so and I really didn't like the. They've always the rivals have always been all right, but this time, I mean, Sword and Shield was just really like over the top with the very G-rated, happy-go-lucky rival. When it's like, come on, red and blue were like, serious like rivals. Like, he talks shit. He what a rivalry is supposed to be: friendly, but competitive. And part of being competitive is talking a little crap, and being your best friend, but I'm gonna kick your butt in the most lighthearted way, and again your ass kicked, and then being happy about it. It's like it's just so phony. Like no one in the not the nicest person in the world who has any competitive fire in them is gonna be that happy. And it made me a little bit like annoyed, being an adult listening to reading through all this when I mean, not for nothing, the last one I really enjoyed was X and Y. I really enjoyed the story in that a little bit better. The fake Team Rocket was a little bit weird in that one, but they were always a little bit weird. And that was the other thing. It was missing like a real Team Rocket. I'm just using it as a general placeholder name because they will have different names. But I just didn't like X and Y. I didn't like that they weren't really part of the story this time around. They were just like cheerleaders in Sword and Shield. So that was a little bit weird to me. But either way, the news that came out today was about Diamond and Pearl. That was really cool. It's looking better and better as I'm seeing it. It's cool that they're adding new stuff to it. It's cool that they're changing up the way you do their what is it, like the underground part, or where you have your room now and you can put statues now, and then with those statues there's a new area that opens up and different Pokemon roam around based on what statues you have in your room. It looks like they have like a mini game for beautifying your Pokemon and stuff like that, beautifying your Pokeball, and it looked really good. I don't know, I don't care about the chibi look. When you're fighting, it looks normal. They're regular portioned, and while I get that we got in the other remake of the original game and the other games that have come out, they've been more proportioned. I don't know. I really don't mind them going to the old look, but in 3D for the overworld so much. The way people were like crying about that, but that's just me. I don't cry about stupid stuff like that. I just want to play the game and enjoy it, bring back some memories. And it's funny because it came out 15 years ago, and Pfeffer and I have been together for 15 years, and that was the first Pokemon game we played, Diamond and Pearl. So we were thinking maybe not just getting it, but it's like we should just get it. And then they're coming out with the Switch, that new Switch Lite with the Dialga and Palkia on it. We're like, we should just buy, because we bought the DS Lite back in the day, the white one that had just come out, and then we played Diamond and Pearl on that. And I was thinking maybe we should just do that. We should just buy the Diamond and Pearl and then get the new Switch Lights with that. But no. We already got like 4 Switches in the house because of the kids. So I'm probably not going to do that. But but Arceus, I keep calling it Arceus because that's how it feels like it should be, but it's Arceus according to the Pokemon Direct that came out on YouTube today. Arceus is looking really, really good. The way looks like it's gonna be a little more open world than Sword and Shield. I thought it was really cool. They showed a portion where you can just be running down. Pokemon can attack the trainer now. I thought that was really cool. Like, that looks like more like the adult Pokemon I've been wanting forever. Something a little darker, a little geared towards at least teenager. You know what I mean? I get not making a full blown. You're never gonna make a bloody Pokemon, but something geared towards maybe like kids that are a little older than your happy-go-lucky. So seeing the trainer get attacked and seeing how it looks a little more complicated, like you can be running down, you can throw your Pokeball in real time and a fight starts right there. I thought that was really awesome, and I cannot wait for that game. That comes out January 28th. I can't remember now. Definitely in January that's coming out, and that looks really, really good. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I was right. So yeah, I was right. January 28th is when that's coming out. I'm gonna be all over that. I'm excited for it. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, moving on. Other stuff that was interesting this week that I found interesting was Fortnite's coming out with their own imposter mode, which is essentially Among Us, and it's like, it looks like the map is very designed in the same vein as how Among Us has been doing it, and they didn't do any kind of like cooperation with them. They didn't do any, it would have been cool to see Epic work with the Among Us people. Yes, I'm sure they've all gotten a lot of cash flow, ever since the game blew up, but it's still a little bit sad to see that um they didn't what's that called? They didn't work with them. They didn't reach out to them. They didn't say anything to them. So that's a little bit sad that happened, but it is what it is. And then Cyberpunk, everyone's favorite game, biggest letdown in the history of gaming, which will go down in the history books as one of the worst game release launches ever. Got a new update. You get some new jackets and a new car and an alternate look for Johnny Silverhand. Just what everyone wanted: a jacket and a skin. No, that's not what you wanted the game to be fixed. Oh, we're gonna have to wait for that. I don't know. It's like, what is seriously going on with like, I don't even know why they did a whole live stream for that. Like, why? What's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all should have known better. You have under all this heat, like come on, read the room a little bit. Like, just release, hey, a little blog post. A live stream should have been for something major, not some like, oh yeah, you get some skins, guys. Bye. It is what it is, man. I've just given up on that. I still haven't finished the game because it just feels like damn, it's like I was looking forward to that game so much. It's crazy though, if you really think about it. We're about 9 months. We're hitting about 9 months since that game has come out, and yeah, it's crazy. Like, you would think that was gonna be like game of the year 2021. That's what we're gonna hear about at the VGAs, and that is not what we're gonna hear about. That is not what we're gonna hear about this December when the VGAs come out. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, this news was really annoying to read about this week, where this new game came out called Boyfriend Dungeon, and pretty much it's a dungeon crawler that is also a dating simulator, but within it, the voice actor who played the villain of it, I guess, did such a good job of being an asshole in the game that he was getting like death threats and people telling him that he shouldn't have taken the role, he should have known better and to do better. And it's like, it's an acting gig. Like, what do you really so like, should villains never exist in a game or in a movie? Like, should this is how crazy the world has gotten, where it's like anything that hurts your feelings, makes you feel bad, should not exist. And I don't agree with that. Like, why do people feel the need to block out everything that hurts their feelings? We gotta stop that. People gotta do better than that. And it's a little unfortunate. Yes, certain things are warranted, but an actor doing his job, come on. Like, come on. And then the thing is that these people are upset with him for playing the bad guy, but then become the bad guy themselves because they're upset with him. Like, if you're literally threatening them, cursing them out, and being a bad person to this man that you don't know, then aren't you even worse because you're doing it in real life? Like I don't understand people. I don't understand what makes you think that that's okay. Like, what makes you think that that's okay? What world is it okay to hit up somebody you don't know, tell them that they did a bad job, and give them threats, but because they pretended to be a bad person? Like, let that sink in a little bit. That shit was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Oh man, I don't know what's going on out here, people, but that ain't it. And yeah, so in better news, then we got something that I thought was really interesting this week was the Metal Gear Solid glitch of a girl who had never played the game was streaming the game, was running away from, in a scene from the soldiers, and glitches through a wall, which like saves a few minutes for a speed run. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And she just casually found it after years of Metal Gear Solid runners doing this. Now the speedrunners have a new way to tackle that game, so that's really, really cool. I thought that was interesting. And but speaking of give me 1 second. Speaking of Metal Gear, Blue Box last week finally released their elusive app that everybody was talking about and that they had been talking about, and everyone was bugging out about this app. Finally drops last Friday after we had recorded, and it was literally the same 4-second trailer that they had played on Twitter, and the world blew up again. Now there's these weird like stories going around talking about that's not what that's and it's all from these little publications that you don't know anything about, like these small blogs are getting interviews with Karaman, but none of the major outlets have gotten interviews. Like, you're literally sitting on one of the biggest game anticipated reveals, because apparently we still don't know what this is. You're being super secretive about a game that nobody knows about, but we're supposed to believe it's not related to Kojima. Like, it's related to somebody, because think about it. Everybody wants to get their game out there. And it's like, if you're starting, it's only common sense to understand that keeping it a secret, making people think and constantly believe that it's related to something bigger, and it's not, it's only going to look bad. So why not just say, okay, you know what? Fine. We wanted to make this a bigger reveal, but here's the game. This is what the game is. And be on the lookout for that. So it's like, if this really is a secret, you have no faith in your game, and or it's related to Kojima. Like, he's putting out too many freaking hints about this right now, and there's just no way that it's not related to him at this point. Like, if you've been following any of the stuff that's been happening, there's just no way that this is not related to him in some capacity. People say it on his timeline every day, and he put up a T-shirt that Yoshi Shinkawa drew for him, and Yoji Shinkawa. Anyway, and somebody took the white, made it all white, and people made it a meme today. It was a complete meme that Kojima himself was retweeting, which means that it's not like he doesn't look at his responses. And in those replies were people asking about Blue Box, people putting up Karma's picture, people were like, so the fact he's like, he can easily squash all this. They could have even tweeted out, hey, Kojima, why don't you clear this up for us and tell everybody we're not related to you. That has not happened. I'm telling you, Gamescom is when it's going to happen. I promise you, Gamescom, we're going to find out. Now, it may not. At this point, I don't think it's Metal Gear, and I feel like or Silent Hill, and I feel like that's what they're trying hard. This could just be Kojima's new IP that he's finally revealing, and it's gonna, he's taking the same steps he did with Silent Hill, with Metal Gear, and he's pretty much has told everybody. Now, maybe he's doing a combination of both. Maybe because it sounds like it's going to have horrifying scenes, but it's going to be a survival shooter. Sounds like Silent Gear to me. So if that's what we're getting, if we're getting some kind of like tactical survival horror/horror elements game, I'm for it. If it's a brand new IP, I don't care. All I know is that it's related to Kojima. That's all I know. And I'm like, it gotta be. And if it's not, that's gonna be one of the biggest surprises and letdowns. And I'm not gonna cry about it. I'll just be like, damn, it really wasn't that. That's so crazy, all these weird things, and it really wasn't that. It's gotta be. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it. I refuse until we finally get that reveal. None of this makes sense, because this could have easily been squashed in 2 seconds by by Sony, by Kojima, by somebody. This could have been squashed. So I'm thinking at this point, It's definitely related. There's definitely something there, and they just haven't said anything yet. But we'll see. Hopefully next week when Gamescom is out and everything goes through, hopefully we'll finally get, that that closure. I'm hoping it's at Gamescom because none of this makes sense. And he's calling it a playable prologue. So BB Studios making a PP, for like PT and all this. I don't know. It just all sounds dumb at this point. I just wanted to hurry up and come out. So, but yeah. I think I'm gonna keep it a little bit short. I don't think I want to blab you guys ears off for the next, for another 40 minutes here. So I think I'm gonna keep it nice and short today. Again, thank you if you've made it this far. If you listened to the whole thing, thank you guys so much. Let me know. Hey, for all you guys who really listen, who do reach out to me, let me know what you thought about this episode. I know it's a little bit different and maybe not as exciting because I don't have anybody to bounce off of. But let me know what you think about it. And let me know how you felt. Yeah, I'll see what maybe I'll do other little short things in the future, just me myself, or we'll see how it goes. But this was a lot of fun, and yeah, I think I'm gonna end here. So again, thank you everybody who's been listening. Again, you can follow me at VGXL Podcast on Twitter, Video Games X Life as well for me directly on Twitter, and Video Games X Life everywhere else, Twitch, Instagram, we're everywhere. And yeah, and for everybody listening to the podcast version of this, thank you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. And yeah, it's a great way to stay in shape. Bye. Later. Deuces.